Everyone, this is Chi, and I just wanted to talk about another mod, and that's going to be the climate control mod. So, this is a mod that I think it's pretty important if you're looking to do a playthrough that has modern technology, and pretty much if you're not going to do medieval, I recommend using this mod unless you don't plan to have like a large, colony, and if you do like to micromanage using heaters, because normally in vanilla, normally we go to temperature and we use a heater or a passive cooler, or we can use the air conditioning system, which normally works great, and um, you can normally get a freezer working, with one or two air conditioning systems, and which is perfectly fine. I think that's great. But what I wanted to do was to have a way that I can keep most of my colonists, most of the people, at a good temperature where they won't complain too much. The same goes for my hospital. Same goes for my my prison. My guest area. I had always wanted something where I could control it without having to micromanage too much. And I'm sure as anyone watching this knows, there are mods that help, do climate control. This one specifically, I used, and I like it a lot. I'm gonna go over just a little bit about it. I'm pretty sure by the way, the guides that they have for this, the tutorials like online, they're pretty good. Barky, he made one. It's from I think 2 years ago or something, but most of the items that he featured from the mod back then are still in here now with a few updates, and definitely not as buggy as I think he might have said it was back then. I think it's much better now. Um, so yes, so we talked about how we want to control temperature in our colony. And if that's something you want to do, and if you don't really want to micromanage too much, I think this would be a good mod. So, going over it a little bit, let's see. So, it's going to start with your source of power, just like anything in this, you know, in this game. If you're doing a non-medieval, or if you're going to run using modern technology, industrial or higher, yeah, you're going to need power. So of course, you're gonna need power. So I have batteries here. Some of my power conduits are not the subsurface conduits, and I want to thank Tim actually for recommending the subsurface conduits a while back, which is great because the subsurface conduits, although it may cost more or also have more work time, you can always change that in the mod settings. Um, the great thing about the subsurface, um, yeah, is that it's underground. You can't see it like you can with the normal vanilla power conduits. So if that's something that you're into, or if you don't mind seeing it on the ground, I mean, you can hide them on under walls and stuff. The thing is, if you're going to expand your building or move some furniture around, you might expose some of the conduits normally, right? But in this case, you can use the subsurface conduits, which is a different mod, and apply that to all your electronics. Okay, anyway, back to climate control. Um, so in climate control, if you think about it in real life, I'm not an electrician and I'm not like an air conditioner guy, but um, you know, if you think about it, let's say in a room you have a vent and the air comes from there. Or if you have a wall unit, that's a different thing. But in centralized air, let's say at your school or at your work, there's a vent, and ultimately the air from there comes from somewhere. The cool air or the warm air that comes through the vent ultimately comes from fans and also a some kind of climate control system. So that's what the climate control. If I'm wrong about that, please just let me know. I'm not an expert. But if you go to temperature, you can find these, not temperature, climate control. climate. So you find these different tools here, and Barky explains this really well, and other people in different videos explain this really well. But I just wanted to make sure that in my own videos, even just for me to have as a journal, that I kind of um, include this. So the first things you'll notice is the red, blue, and cyan air pipes. So from what people have said and what I agree with, of course, is it doesn't really matter which one you use. What it's really for is to make sure you can coordinate. You can make red your heated air and blue your cool air. You could do that. But what I do is I only use one, the blue air pipe. Okay, and you need the pipe because that's what the air travels through. Okay, so if you want the air to go to different parts of your colony, you got to have the blue air pipe. Pretty much it acts like the conduit. And I don't have a mod that makes that, invisible or like underground, but normally you could just put it in the walls. So if I click this, you can see where I have placed all of the blue air pipes. So it's kind of extensive. I built two systems, one here near the living area and one in the guest area. I'll show you that. Here, 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 near the hospital. I did that because I didn't want to have too many of the blue pipes, running across the map. But if anyone watching this knows a better way to hide them or to organize it without having to spend too much more on piping, because it does cost something. What is it? Let's look at it. Cost 1 steel. That's not bad. Oh, actually, but I think that's because I changed it. I think originally it's like 3 or something. But still, it would be nice to just be able to save as much steel as I can. But yeah, that's why I put 3 different units. And I think another thing that I'm going to get into right now is that if you think about the air that's being pushed through these pipes, the farther it has to go, you should be able to, or at least the way I thought about it was, yeah, the air power needs to be pretty strong if the air is going to go through all of these pipings and go in, through the pipes and into the vents of each room, all in a fairly equal amount of flow efficiency. Okay, so that's why there are intake fans. So you go back to your menu. Oops, okay. And you have intake air fans. So you guys can read the description of these on your own. You can pause it and read these. Here's the large one. So basically, these need to be, by the way, outdoors. It has to have air. That's why if I select this, it will only let me place it somewhere where there's open space for it to collect air. I can't put it I could put it here because, nothing's blocking it. But if I were to put it here, or here like this, there's a chance that it's going to mess with the airflow. You want to give at least that amount of space, that white square. You want to give that amount of space for the air to be collected and then blown in through the pipes. Again, if I'm talking about this and something's off, please go ahead and let me know, at least so anyone who happens to be watching this gets, the right idea about it. But from what my understanding is and what has worked for me is making sure that there is at least that amount of space. See, look right here, device intake is blocked because when I expanded this and added that, who knows when, I wasn't careful enough. I didn't expand the wall at the same time. So you see, I should fix that like right now. Okay, I guess I'll fix it. Expand expand this a little more. Oh, okay. So those are the intake fans, and so what that is going to do is going to take in air, okay? But now, how do you control the temperature? This is why you use the air climate control. If you go to the menu, it's these. There's a smaller version and larger version. To be able to use more of these machines, you got to research it. It's going to be in your main research screen, I think. But you got to do some research, and then you'll unlock the different sized fans and the different sized climate control. So climate control, if you look closely, it's just like an air conditioner. You can adjust the the target temperature. So right now, if you look on my screen, it says target temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's because it's a little cold around now. So I have it adjusted to 80, and you can always, you can manipulate it just like an air conditioning machine. And that's going to take whatever air is in the system and pretty much control the temperature of it. So let me highlight my piping again. So again, I'm only using the blue air pipe. I just thought I'll stick with the same color. And here, the line comes through here. A little bit like electricity, as long as you have one line going through, you can use it for air, okay? And and if you wanted to run a power conduit line through this, you could do that too. It's not like this the blue air pipe or any of the air pipes actually take the space, if you know what I mean. It doesn't take the space where a conduit can be. You can place both lines there, a power conduit and an air pipe. Okay, so that's my line going through there, and this is an air vent. There's two different sizes. Of course, the bigger one, I believe, works a lot better. You can get a lot more air through it. And if you look closely at the screen again, it says flow efficiency is 98%, thermal efficiency 125, and it is connected to the airflow network, so the air is going through. The total network airflow 3600 cc per second. So that's good. The more fans you have, the better your flow efficiency and the better your total network airflow it's going to be. And the reason why I had to add quite a few of these large fans is basically because the more hold on the more I expanded the network of my air pipes, what I noticed was some of them, some of the air units through the vents, they were not really getting good stats, meaning the flow efficiency was low or the overall network flow is low. And besides that, also sometimes therefore thermal efficiency. The thermal efficiency was no good. See, right here it says 88%. And that's not really ideal. I prefer to have it a lot better. So I'll have to look into it and see where the problem might be in my system. But otherwise, you can add more than one vent, and that will help as well. You can do that. But otherwise, most of my rooms just have one vent, and you can see that the temperature in here is 77, between 76 and 77. Outdoors is 43, and my target temperature is 80, so it's a good balance. And again, it saves me the time of having to micromanage and to use things like the heater, or even the passive cooler, which is fun to do, and you need to learn how to use those things as you're starting off learning how to play. I definitely did, and not that I'm an experienced player yet, but I definitely needed to learn how to use that So you should know how to use those things because sometimes you need them actually. Like what if your electricity is out? You might need to use a passive cooler or build a fire, something like that. And also, it's good training to know what kind of clothing you're wearing. So yeah, so here we go. That is most of the mod. That is the air pipes, which runs through, and I have different systems like down here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, all right. And one side note actually is I've asked around and I've looked online, and I don't really know the purpose of the surround air vent. If you read the description, it's pretty much exactly the same as a regular vent, and see, takes air from the network, dumps it in the connected room or outside environment. So really, this can act as a vent. If you place this in a room and it's connected to an air pipe, one of the lines, it will pump out that air. You can read it here too, right? The efficiency is 100, thermal 88, and 5100 cc. Um, so I think that's just like using a wall-mounted air vent, but I guess it gives you the option of using, you know, a boxed shape one. Um, and you can get pretty creative with this. You've seen there's other videos, not just Barky, but different other videos where you can use it to make multiple refrigerator rooms, or multiple heating rooms. So you can get really creative with that. The purpose that, I mean, for me, I just want to use it because I was pretty tired of, um, uh, eh, I just lost a colonist. I don't think I can give, no, sorry. Am I at war with them? Uh, Postpone. Oh, I can't postpone. Uh, I don't know. I'll just send them stuff later. See, we were already at -80 anyway. I mean, okay. What was I saying? Yeah, I just wanted so that it wouldn't be as much of a hassle and it wouldn't be too much um, micromanaging. So yeah, that's what it is for me, and it's really useful. Um, there's not many problems that I can think of with this mod, um, except small ones like you can't really hide the air pipes besides building something on top of it. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So you need you need electricity, you need power, you need your climate control unit, which are in two different sizes, and you need your airflow, your actual, you know, air. So you need the fans, and just don't forget about your spacing. I'm pretty sure once you guys get this, you'll figure it out. I was just hoping this video can, if anyone watching, I was just hoping it can give some insight into, does it work? You know, a little bit of like, how does it work? But pretty much just like any mod, it's still up to you to play around with it. For me, it has been working, and I have probably almost 200 mods or something like that, and there have been no problems. So, yeah. I think that's about it for the climate control mod. And I'm sorry if my voice was again a little bit, I don't know, froggy. I just got over getting sick, but better now. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about this mod, please look it up in the workshop or look it up on the forums, or you can check the Facebook page and ask people there. Whether maybe Tim, he may know. or others there. I don't know everyone there, but it's up to you. If you want to figure things out, you got to yeah, you got to figure it out. So you got to ask whoever you got to ask. And if these videos help, I'm glad. For this video, if you did like it, then click like and subscribe if it was helpful. Otherwise, if it didn't help, if you don't like it, then don't click like and don't click subscribe. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, also another thing I wanted to mention was, just like I've mentioned before in the description, there's other channels of other friends of mine who play different games. You can check them out on the links that I provided. They play different games, so it'll be cool if you could watch some of their stuff, and I'll probably talk more about their channels in the future. And also another channel for Rimworld is one. Well, there's a couple of them, but there's also from the Rimworld community page, we have the CW Gaming. You can check out her videos where she goes in depth into how to get started and how to play Rimworld, and she has actually almost 3,000 hours in the game. So check out her video, and check out all the other videos that I've in the links I provided in the description. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.